Hi there, welcome to part 2 of learning the basics of turns with poi. Last week we discussed the tic-tac or the 2-beat weave and learned how to do it both forwards and reverse with both hands, right? This week we're going to apply those lessons to learning what I would consider to be the most basic trick of poi, which is the hip reel. That is being able to turn with your poi from one side to another. Learning this teaches you something very, very fundamental about poi movement that you need to know kinesthetically to go literally anywhere with poi. And that is, it feels like when your body shifts orientation that the poi should always be moving with your body. What you discover in the course of this move is that actually the poi has its own way of moving, and your body has to kind of accommodate that as it works. Let me show you what I mean by that. Now, we're going to start off with our forwards 2-beat or tic-tac from the last video. And what I want you to do is start off with it just rotating on the right-hand side of your body. I'm using my right hand. If you're a lefty, you can use your left hand instead on this. Switch it back and forth a few times. And stop it when it's on the non-dominant side of your body, your left-hand side, right? Now, with it stopped, I want you to rotate your body in place. Don't change the orientation of the poi, just your body. Now, when you have turned your body around 180 degrees, what you're going to find is that now it feels like the poi is rotating in the reverse direction. If you try and rotate back around such that it's on your left side, and then switch back into your tic-tac, and leave it on your right side, it feels like you're going forwards once again, right? This is because whenever you make a 180-degree turn with the poi, it seems as though the orientation of the poi has changed, but really what's changed is the orientation of your body. For example, if I were to keep walking around the poi like so, you guys watching at home know that the direction of the poi never ever changes, but the direction that I'm looking is changing constantly. This is really, really, really important as you play with poi to realize that the poi is actually the thing that is constant. What changes is where your body's at. So we're going to take a very, very basic movement that will demonstrate this concept. And that is the ability to turn with the poi when the poi heads are both turning in the same direction and face together. So, we begin with both of the poi rotating forwards at our sides in what's sometimes referred to as wheel plane, because it feels like the poi heads are rolling around the outsides of wagon wheels on each side of us. And as you do so, notice that I'm trying really hard to keep the planes of my poi, that is the end that looks like a flat line, looking as straight top to bottom as possible. A lot of us when we start off will seem to have them more coming towards each other, or maybe they'll be kind of rotating wall-eyed out to the sides like this. That's totally fine when you're starting out, but just know that this is what you're aiming for eventually, right? You can complete the turn with your planes not perfect, but the more perfect they are, the easier that turn is going to wind up being. One other thing to notice here is that it looks as though our two poi are essentially rotating in two different tracks. That is, if indeed there were a set of wagon wheels on my shoulders and I move forward, I would leave tracks from two wheels, right? Now, in order to make a real turn, we need to switch from having two wheels to one wheel. What do I mean by that? Well, as the poi are rotating forwards, you're going to find this moment when the poi are just going past your shoulders and about to head forwards, right? And you're going to pick the side that you're going to turn towards. I usually like turning to my left. I don't know why, but it just feels good. If I'm turning to my left, that means that my wagon wheels have to come together into the track on my left-hand side. That is, I'm going to switch the poi in my right hand over to that track on my left-hand side. You'll notice as I did that, it's natural for the poi to try and sweep past me, right? And that's exactly the kind of feeling that you're looking for. You want both of the poi to go past your ankles and then emerge out on the other side, right? So once again, as the poi are rotating forwards, if I'm turning to my left, my right poi is going to join my left poi in the left track. And when I complete that turn, you'll see that my left hand pops back out into its own track again. Because now that I've turned, what was the left track is now the right track. Once again, they meet together in the left track. Left hand goes out to its own track again. Yeah? Now, the turn from forwards to reverse is a relatively easy one because gravity's on your side for it. The turn from reverse back to forwards is a little harder. This is because you're actually fighting against gravity to make that turn. A lot of people, when they attempt to make that turn, find that they automatically want to put one of their hands behind their heads. And eventually, you may play around with turns that do use that quality, but I've known very few people when starting out who are able to do that without tangling their poi or hitting themselves in the process. So, just as when we were turning from forwards to reverse, you're going to try and find a moment when you're turning from reverse to forwards when your two hands can come together in the same track. And once again, it's the track in whichever direction you're turning in. From here, I'm going to turn to my right-hand side. So that means that my left hand right here is going to come around and join my right hand in the right track. This happens as the poi are going up, rather than as they're going down, as they would when you're going from forwards to reverse. Like so, right? If you want to look at this from straight on, it's going to look like this. They join together in the right track, come back down, and the right hand splits off into its own track again, right? So, from reverse, left hand meets the right hand, they come back down together. Another thing a lot of people tend to do as they're learning this move is they'll try and insert an extra beat into it as they're attempting to complete the turn. I personally think it looks a lot cleaner if the poi heads don't come back down until you're facing the other direction. That is, it is one continuous movement. In a lot of cases that are required that you have to slow down the poi just a little bit as they're going up and over in order to get back here. So altogether then, this turn looks like this. Yeah? Cool. So, once again, practice the hell out of this. Be able to do 10 to 20 of these, going across each shoulder, each way. And when we come back next week, we will talk about how to do these same kind of turns when the poi are turning in opposite directions, yeah? So, thank you guys again for watching, and once again, if you have any suggestions, requests, etc., please leave them in the comment box on this video, and yeah, I will see you next Friday. Peace.